Honestly, being queer is probably the main reason why I would survive this film. Have you ever struggled to pick a horror film to watch? Well, I have the solution for you. I picked up this little card deck that has 50 horror films that you can scratch off to reveal which movie you're going to watch. And so an idea that I had in mind was to actually pick one each week to watch and review based off of if I would survive as the final queer. So come with me and join me on this journey to see if I would survive these horror films. So I already shuffled the deck and I picked a card out. It shows you the blank image that you'll then scratch off, but it gives you a little description at the bottom. And so it says that this film is rated R. It came out in 1973. It's 88 minutes and it is a mystery and thriller. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and scratch it off and I'm gonna reveal what movie we will be watching tonight. All right, so I scratched it off and today's viewing is The Wicker Man. I kind of felt as I was scratching this part off, I was like, I feel like this is gonna be The Wicker Man, but not the original. I mean, not the remake, but it's gonna be the original. I've never watched the original. I've watched the remake. The remake honestly kind of confused me, so I'm kind of excited to watch the original. And if it's anything like the remake, I don't know if I'm gonna make it out of this one, homies. We'll see. All right, so now that I have finished watching The Wicker Man, I'm going to review it based off of some categories that I have created for a rubric, just kind of showing like, would I be able to survive this film if I were in it? Now, the 5 categories are situational IQ, physical feasibility, resources management, the queer trope test, and personal prudence. So all of these I scored out of 5, and I'm going to go into each and every one of the categories and talk about why I scored myself the way I scored myself and see how we come out in the end. Also, in the end, there are 4 rankings. So if I score between 21 to 25, then I am a final queer, like it is confirmed, I win. If I score between 15 to 20, that means that I pretty much had like a high chance. Maybe it was a close call, but I still survived. If I score 10 to 14, then it's a toss-up. I may be injured and scared, and there's probably not really a chance for me to make it out. Maybe I'll be like one of the penultimate people to bite the dust. And if I score 5 to 9, I'm gone in Act 1. RIP me. So that is the rankings. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so for situational IQ, I scored myself a 4 out of 5, mainly because I know a lot about pagan stuff. I've read about it in books, in movies, and I know quite a bit. And I know that once the Green Man bar was introduced, I was right away, I knew, I was like, okay, this is pagan. Like, I didn't even have to like read a description of the film. I already knew like, okay, this town is pagan because the Green Man is a very pagan deity. So right off the bat, I knew, and I was like, okay, something's afoot. So already knowing that kind of stuff and already knowing that already puts me ahead of the game in the whole situation. Also, if I were in this situation, I would have definitely brought backup with me. The officer in the film, he goes by himself. And he doesn't take any weapons. Like, he's a police officer and he doesn't have a gun, a knife, or any type of survival instincts whatsoever. Like, I'm just like, how do you, as a police officer, not bring any of these things with you? Like, or like, you know, a tank of gas, or, you know, how to fix the plane. Because at one point in the film, the plane doesn't work and he's like, oh, I don't know how to fix it. And I'm like, homie, how are you gonna fly this plane and not know how to fix it? Like, if I am gonna go to a deserted island, well, it's not deserted, but you know, you get what I mean. But if you're gonna go to an island on plane and you have no idea how to fix a plane, if you have no tools whatsoever to do that, why are you going to a place like that? Like, I don't get it. I'm just like, well, so yeah, honestly, this man definitely was a fool. And I mean, that's what they were looking for. They were looking for a fool who would just blindly go and just be like, be the white savior that they needed. And I was like, yeah, that wouldn't be me. So that's why I ranked myself a 4. You know, I gave myself that because I was like, you know, okay, I'm not perfect, but hey, at least I would have seen the signs. And if I would have seen like what he saw, I would have been like, nah, I'm out. Bye. Deuces. Next up is physical feasibility. Now for this one, I ranked myself a 2.5 because I was kind of in between a 2 and a 3 because I was like, yeah, I think I can outrun these people. And if I have like weapons at my disposal, I could definitely like get past some people. Pero like also it's a whole island of people against you. So I had to be realistic and be like, well, if they were coming after me, they would probably get me. So that's why I was more on like the 2 side. But I was like, no, but like, I mean, if I had like, again, if I were in the situation, I would have brought backup. I would have, you know, had the training. I would have, you know, whatever. I think that that's that. I think that that's a fair score. But, you know, you have a whole town going up against you. So there's not really that much wiggle room, you know, not a lot of it's in your control. I'll talk about this later. I would have joined them probably, been like, woo. Because honestly, I don't think I would have been the type of person that they would have wanted to sacrifice. And I'll get into that later on. Next up is resources management. Again, we are going back to the fact that he did not bring a single thing except for like one pair of clothes and his night wear. Officer Howie was just, he was a fool. Like he was not prepared to be on this island. Number one, why aren't you doing research on any of this island and its history? Number two, why aren't you bringing any weapons along with you? Number three, why don't you bring gas for the plane or knowledge of how to fix it if it becomes broken? These are things that I'm just like, what the heck? Or like, you know, what's your contingency plan if like things don't go well? Because you're going to an island that is secluded. So what is your backup? There was just a lot of things that I felt he did not bring that he should have brought. And if I were in the situation, I would have definitely brought all those things. I would have been like, you know what? I need this, I need that, I need that. Because I would just be in survival mode before I even get to the island. Because it's like, yeah, how do you go to a place that you don't know about or you've never been before and you go like almost empty-handed? As a Sagittarius, I don't do that. I do research, I do all the things, and I make sure that I have every single thing that I would possibly need for a trip. So I just know that I would have done my research. And yeah, that probably would have helped me survive. Yeah, honestly. And because I forgot, I ranked myself a 5 out of 5 on that one because, yeah, as a Sagittarius, I would have heavily prepared for that trip. So 5 out of 5 for resources management. Now, for the queer trope test, I honestly believe that simply because I am queer, I would have not been the sacrifice that they wanted. So I honestly think that would have been a 5 out of 5 because they were wanting this fool who was wanting to, you know, like foolishly go and save a child. Like I would have been like, okay, like if I would have gotten this request, I would have been like, okay, you know what? Well, I need backup. I need this. I need that. Like we need all this stuff. Like I wouldn't have gone by myself. And also like I would have been like, oh, cool, pagan rituals. Like awesome. Like I wouldn't have been like, oh no, Christianity is the way to go. Which like throughout the film, that's what is kind of interesting is the differences between his viewpoints and the town's viewpoints of like, well, this is what we believe in. He's like, well, the only thing you should believe in is God, and you know, da 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 da. And so I'm just like, homie, that's your undoing. And you know, the fact that they like put in different tests, him almost being seduced by the innkeeper's daughter, and like honestly, if that were a man, if there was an innkeeper's son and he was trying to seduce me, like it probably I would have been like, yeah, let's go, let's do it. And that would have disqualified me from being the sacrifice. So honestly, being queer probably would have saved me in this situation. So hey, there we go. There we go. Boom. Love it. And lastly, personal prudence. I ranked myself 5 out of 5 because Officer Howie goes around and he's like making a big old fuss and saying like, oh, like this isn't right, this is against Christianity, and da 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 da. Whereas me, like I would have been quiet, I would have been cautious, I would have been like, oh, that's cool. Like what, tell me more about your religion. Like I have such a very expanded worldview, so I honestly wouldn't have been as loud as he was, and I would have just been like sneaking off into the different corners trying to figure out. And like honestly, I would have dipped the second that, I saw that things were weird and like that things were not what they say they were. And, like I said previously, I probably would have failed that first test, so they would have not wanted me at all. So honestly, 5 out of 5. Personal prudence, 5 out of 5. And yeah, that's it. All right, and ranking all of my rankings together and adding it all up, my score for today comes out to 21.5, which makes me an official final queer for The Wicker Man. So yeah, I would probably survive this movie, but mostly because I would be so interested in like the culture and the religion that I would like be like, oh yeah, like whatever, like yeah, let's go sacrifice someone else. Anyways, thank you all so much for coming on this journey with me. Definitely check out The Wicker Man from 1973. It is definitely such an interesting watch, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So definitely watch it on Tubi. It is for free. So sign up for Tubi, go watch it. You won't regret it. And let me know in the comments down below, if you've already watched this film, do you think that you would survive it? Or would you fall prey to the cult? Ooh. Well, is it a cult? I don't know. Thank you all so much for everything. And until next time, stay spooky.